Jono, kia ora, thanks for your time.
Morning, Andrew. Great to be here.
Now, wanting to focus in on something which is happening in rugby, but it's perhaps a symptom of a bigger problem. Now, this is a rebel league called R360. It has connections to, some big money, actually, including the Saudi Arabian government, and some big questions being asked about whether or not some of our key sports people will be tempted to say, you know what, I'm not going to be an All Black. I'm not going to do the Rugby World Cup this year because I'm going to earn 4 times as much money doing half the amount of work in R360. And when you put it like that, it sounds pretty tempting, doesn't it?
Yeah, R360. There's definitely been some hype around it and some articles and some rumors and whisperings of who might be involved and how much they're going to get paid and intriguing.
Yeah.
Intriguing. That's where I'm sitting at the moment. I'm kind of intrigued to see how's this going to flesh out. And we've seen how money, particularly coming out of Saudi Arabia, is impacting other sports.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I thought rugby was immune from this.
Although, yeah, I mean, let's talk about the broad issue, because we have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly on this. Some people would say that that what happened with the Live Golf has been devastating and has broken some things within the golfing world. Other people would say, yeah, but Formula One, I mean, this is a sport which really needs some financial investment and perhaps some new money. But then other people concerned about, yeah, but if it's Saudi Arabian money, given the human rights record, is this sports washing? There's some complicated questions on this one, Jono.
Yeah, sports washing definitely comes to mind, and we don't have to look too far back to see other sort of examples of this, whether it's Live Golf or even the Qatar FIFA World Cup.
Yep.
And there was a lot of controversy around that with human rights violations, and was it 500 people that died in the constructions of the stadiums, or was it 5,000 migrant workers? Yeah, sort of some ugly sides of sport and big sport.
Yeah.
Now, if you think about the golf, has it made golf better? Has it just stirred up controversy? Has it just mean that players get paid a whole bunch more money? Now Live Golf and the PGA are together.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what to make of it all the time.
Hey, maybe if we move the Saudi Arabian question, because I mean that's a big thing in itself. Because since rugby went professional, this has always been a bit of a dilemma. And it used to be, oh well, maybe I could play for a Northern Hemisphere club in the off season. But honestly, now we don't have much of an off season, and some pretty big money being offered by the likes of France and Japan in particular, and some of our best players are choosing not to become All Blacks so they can get big money in Japan. And again, you can understand why they would do that for family reasons, but it's a little bit like selling your birthright, isn't it?
Yeah, I talk rugby with a number of close friends regularly, and the topic comes up every week about our eligibility criteria for the All Blacks. So if you play overseas, then you can't play for the All Blacks. And should we change this? And South Africa's changed this, and Australia's brought in, if you play the Ghetto rule, if you played 60 tests, or if you've done 5 years of service, you can come back and play. If you open that door, that's a hard one to come back from, and you can see the dilemma that like New Zealand rugby has with this issue. And at the same time, I think about the athletes, and yes, there's this desire to make the All Blacks. And growing up, this dream, and that's the pinnacle of rugby. Yet maybe if you're just a fringe player, or if you're on your way, but then you get offered millions of dollars to play elsewhere, you can certainly see why people do it.
Yeah.
And we would say, they're being a traitor to the country, or they should stay for the All Blacks jersey. But this is a physical sport that people are playing with a limited career span. You know, if you're lucky, you get 10 years, but you could be one injury away from it all being over. You think of our working careers, they're a lot longer than 10 years or 5 years. And the chance to go and make some money that could set up your family if you use it right.
Exactly.
It's complex. It's complex.
Exactly. And hey, I know for some people they're trying to do both on this one, and big news on this. Richie Mo'unga coming back to New Zealand, coming back to New Zealand rugby, puts him in the running to be an All Black for the next Rugby World Cup, although that's not a given. Seems like he's not going with R360, though. This commitment means that he's not putting his hand up for this one. Yes, he said yes to some big money from Japan, but he's able to balance that and say, yeah, but I'll make sure I'm back and eligible to be an All Black for the next Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, and he's going to have to play well to earn that spot. I was just reading about, Sir Steve Hansen sharing his perspective on it. It's like he's got to come back and earn that spot.
Yep.
And he's risking it. He could stay here in New Zealand and win another 100 championships with the Crusaders and put him, be in that All Black environment.
Yeah.
But he's chosen to not just do the sabbatical that we see some players go and do, like Geordie Barrett went to Ireland to play, or Sabia going to Japan. He went and did sort of a full 3 years and is then backing on himself that he'd come back and make it back into that All Black squad. And maybe that just shows you the value. We think the All Blacks is the be all and end all.
Yeah.
But he's saying, hey, it's valuable and I'm going to give it a crack, but also I'm going to do a 3-year stint over here and see what that looks like.
And hey, I think Steve Hansen's right. He does need to earn his place, but it's a bit rich from Steve Hansen, who's also taken the money and gone to Japan. Just saying. I
actually read that he's coaching against Richie.
Exactly. So there's perhaps a little bit more happening in that regard. I suppose the thing that concerns me in this space, and it's a difficult, I suppose, ethical and financial decision and, various loyalties here, but I suppose we need to literally be on the same playing field as our competitors. If we've got a different set of rules than the Aussies or the Springboks, then it's just going to get messy, and particularly with something like R360, there's just going to be one big pot of money fighting over the same players, and it's going to have a huge impact on the quality of the sport at a local level and even at a test match level.
Yeah. As I did a bit of research into R360, it looks like they have sort of seasons or windows. So they're not looking to just take a player like, they've done in soccer where they bring a guy in and pay him $500 million to be there.
Yeah.
There's still windows of international where they can play. And one argument I read that actually made a little bit more sense to me was looking at the French season. Mm-hmm. There was one French team that played 36 games.
Yeah.
So here our Super Rugby seasons are, they play 14 or 15 games, maybe including playoffs. But that French season is 36 games.
Wow.
Midweek games. And you think of that physical element of rugby. And so R360, the concept is a Grand Prix style traveling league that would feature franchises played over 21 weeks, playing 16 games. And they'd travel around sort of like Formula One does.
Yeah.
Almost like the Sevens.
I was going to say, this is a little bit like the Sevens, except with a lot more money in it, right?
A lot more money, probably bigger stadiums, bigger crowds. And so 36 games versus 16, yeah, you can see the appeal and obviously that big money. Do you think about where that money's coming from? Yeah, it's a bit of a grey area at times.
It is difficult, but those sums that I started with, 4 times the money, half the work. It's not much of a dilemma in some ways. Yes, some issues about where the money is coming from, but actually when it comes to looking after your family. And hey, perhaps part of the issue here, and we've certainly seen this in recent years, maybe it's good for the local team, for our boys to go overseas, to have some different experience. Hey, maybe you're in the All Blacks, but literally if you're playing in a Japanese team, you are a big fish in a small pond with a lot more money. You can be an absolute superstar in a local Japanese team and certainly make a difference in that team in terms of their performance within the league. But then to be able to bring that experience, to be able to bring that mana back with them to the New Zealand game, to the All Blacks, that some would argue that could be good for the game.
Yeah, one example maybe that we could look to is the IPL.
Okay.
And when there were these renegade leagues and these IPL, and it's a shorter format. It's a bit of a different context, but our top cricketers are going and playing these shorter formats,
Yep.
earning lots of money, and they're actually working together with New Zealand cricket. So
Yeah.
they sort of open up those windows that guys can go and earn and come back. The reality of New Zealand is we're a small place. There's limited money in sport,
Yeah.
and we see stadiums that are half full, and we produce a lot of rugby talent, but limited opportunity here. So, hey, I say for some of these guys, why not go and give it a crack and some good money? I'm an All Blacks fan through and through, and I want to see us win every single game we ever play. So I'm a bit biased where I want the best players here. But as I think about them as players coming up, different opportunities, more opportunities, I think that's better for our rugby players.
Yeah. Hey, it is an interesting dilemma, and I know that for our athletes, they will each need to find their way through as to what's best for them, for their career, and for their families and financial security as well. But Jono, thanks for your wisdom, your insight on this. Thanks for joining us today.
No worries. Thanks, Andrew.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.